Hi, I'm Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style and 16 Style Types.
And I'm Jill Chivers from Shop Your Wardrobe and 16 Style Types. And in this video, we're going to talk about our personal strategies for replacing items in our wardrobe and keeping that pipeline going and making sure our wardrobe workhorses, I love that expression, are always up to date and always serving us. And I found this question really interesting, the idea of having a pipeline of things coming in. Given my personal history with acquisition and shopping is very interesting. But you know, what's your strategy when it comes to up-to-dateness and that pipeline of things coming in?
So for me, say a wardrobe workhorse would be a pair of jeans. A great pair of jeans I'm going to wear regularly.
Right.
And they do wear out.
Right.
You know? So what I do is, if it's a particular cut style brand that's just worked great, I go and see if I can buy an exact replacement.
Okay, yeah.
Can't always, but sometimes you can basically get the same thing. So then I can go, well, these are my new great jeans.
Right.
That's a simple one. Like I think that's a really basic now. But if it's something that's something I wear a lot, but a little bit more unique, where I'm never going to find exactly the same thing again, or very unlikely to, that's when, if I say, this thing it's starting to wear.
Right.
Like I'm starting to notice the wear.
Yeah.
Now I might still be in the it's acceptable for me, but it's you know, sometimes. Then my thought is I need to keep my eye out for replacement for this.
Right. So 3/4 white pants, for example.
Or
you know, I'm
whatever.
never going to replace these, but I'll keep an eye out for something.
Yeah. Or a white jacket. So I might have a white jacket. I really like this white jacket. And what do I like about it? So first of all, I might analyse it. What do I like about it?
Right.
Well, it's this long, it's got this sort of sleeve, it's got this sort of collar, oh, it's got this little sort of detail, you know, whatever it might be. So I'll do a little analysis about what I like about it.
Right.
Shape, style, structure, all those sorts of things, the fabric,
Yeah.
how does it sit, you know, like, so I want to know what I'm replacing, because I know I'm not getting an exact replica.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm doing.
It's too unique.
It's too unique. So what I like the pair of jeans where it might be, it's a pair of dark indigo denim jeans and another pair of dark indigo denim jeans with nothing that's very particular about them.
Yeah.
Versus this is, it's something that's got something about it. So then it's, okay, well, what are the things I like about it? So I do a little analysis of them.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm not looking to find the exact thing, but I'm going, well, what do I like about it? Because if I just go and buy any other white jacket, I might go, oh, wait a minute, but this is a short one and that one was a long one. So now the short one's fine and it goes over dresses well, but it doesn't go as well with my skinny jeans.
Right.
You know, whatever it might be. So then the proportions of it are different.
Yeah.
So it's not actually a replacement.
Right. It's just a new item.
It's a new item.
Right.
It could be I just go and buy something that's actually too boring for me because I didn't bring in, the white jacket that I've got, it's actually got a textured fabric with a plain fabric, and I like that bit of, gives it a little bit of interest, particularly in a neutral item, that it's not just a solid fabric, it's actually got something else about it. Or it could be about the fit. You know, this just fits, it sits here, it sits here, it fits, it's very comfortable when I wear it. To be aware of that so I don't go and just compromise on fit where I'm not happy with that. So like whatever the criteria are that make the item work, then I'm looking in a replacement, it needs to have those criteria.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it'll be a successful replacement versus an unsuccessful one. Now sometimes you might go, I want a jacket, and everywhere I go I can't see one for love nor money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be that I might even do an online search and just go, it's just not in fashion anymore.
Yeah.
Then I have to think about, okay, well this item is no more in fashion, because if I can't buy anything even related, it's probably gone out of fashion.
Yeah.
Now it could just be this 3 minutes of fashion.
Yeah.
But it could be that this is gone. So then I need to go, okay, well, what can I find as a that fulfills that hole? Because obviously if I'm wearing that jacket, there is some reason it's fulfilled, it's a good topper, it goes over. Then I need to go, okay, well, what could I find that would work in that way that may not be a replica as such?
Yeah, interesting.
And I think, so that's where I think, so it's generally as things are wearing out, I start to go, need to start looking for that, because that's been a workhorse. That's been something that's really great.
Yeah.
So I need to work out what I'm looking for. And I think if you don't do that little bit of what am I looking for, you can buy, it's not quite the right thing. And I think this is why when I see in wardrobe sometimes where I'll see, you know, 10 of something but really one gets worn,
Yeah.
it's because we've been trying to replicate it. Or sometimes we can replicate because you go, well, I love this thing, it's a workhorse, so every time I see one, I buy one. But actually, I've not worked out why it is that the one I love is the one I love.
Yeah.
Like if you think about, like say you've got a lot of animal print dresses.
I've worn 4 in 4 consecutive days.
Now, you don't need any more. But say one was getting worn out, and you went, you know, I'd be open to a new one now because I get a lot of wear of them. What are the criteria you'd be looking for? So what is it for you?
Well, my whole process is quite different to that. The whole idea of wardrobe gaps is really different for me because I have multiples in every single category, which not everybody does. And that has to do with the way that I go about shopping and where I buy and how I go about that process. There's also something I find with, if I just have one in a category, I can suffer quite badly from it's too good to wear. I love it so much, and if I wear it too much, it might wear out and then I'll never have it. And so for me, sometimes I will do the version of multiples as a way of giving me permission to wear the one that I love the most, which now that I'm saying that all out loud, yes, I can hear it, I can. But I also have, they can't go below a certain level. So everything is something that I really enjoy. It's the question of how much in love with it I am. Is it an 8, 9 or a 10?
So how do you know what's your criteria for that level?
Well, oftentimes it's about just a love factor, and there are all those things about is it the right colour for me? Generally, the right colour. I don't tend to get too caught up in body shape kinds of stuff because there are certain things I would just never bother trying on. Any of that sort of 1950s stuff with defined waists and you know, shape like that. I just know I can't even get those things over my head, let alone zip them up the back. So I tend to be pretty flexible about that kind of stuff. So those sort of basic criteria, and I can tell that from across the room, and then it becomes about fit and how I feel about it on my body, and that is also something that can change over time, you know, whether I'm doing stuff that's a little bit more slim fitting or not. My approach to wardrobe gaps, I've actually learned it's helpful for me to keep a wardrobe gap for a period of time, and that is because I can have this tendency to buy multiples where one is really, you know, better than the other, and I have so much that even if I were to take half of the things out of a category, I still may not have enough days in the year to wear everything that's left. And so for me, keeping a wardrobe gap is very, very helpful, and I have this tendency to fill gaps quicker than they are appearing in my wardrobe. So I'm quite different in that regard, and if there's one of me, there's got to be more of me, and so that I find that that's a very useful exercise for me.
So to actually find out if the gap is a gap.
Exactly, and it might have been a gap 5 years ago, but is it still a gap for me? Is it actually fine that I've only got one in that category, or what about 0 in that category? And that's sort of not so much living without, but living with the experience of not having fullness everywhere. Because I recognise that there is a psychological element going on with that, and that the practicality doesn't always have to sort of rush up to meet that can be a useful thing for me to have something that feels a bit like a gap until it doesn't feel like a gap.
And I think too, there's also that element of, is it a gap still? So say, like we know we've talked before about how you never used to wear dresses, now you wear lots of dresses. You used to wear a lot of pants. So you could happily have pants that have worn out that you haven't actually had to replace because it's no longer part of your, you still wear pants.
Perfect point.
But you just don't need as many. So it's like going, well, just because these have worn out, is it still what I want to be wearing all the time? I used to have a lot of dresses, and then when I had my breast reduction, the fit of the dresses just was terrible. So I got rid of masses of dresses, and part of it's been I haven't been able to find many dresses, but I don't have, because I used to wear dresses all the time, and now I've actually been going, I actually really want to wear some dresses. I hadn't found many dresses that I really liked. So I've got few dresses. So I've then been wearing much more kind of skirts and tops. And then this last year, I've actually worn a lot of pants. And I'd gone through, I used to wear pants all the time. I stopped wearing pants. So sometimes it's like there's this evolution, and like I've gone back more to pants this year. And part of that's actually been a foot issue, that having to wear orthotics in my shoes, that some of my boots haven't been able to take my orthotics. So particularly this winter, And also too within summer that I've had to wear more sneakery style shoes to fit the orthotics. So therefore it works better with more pants than some of the skirts and dresses. So sometimes it's been those other elements that have come in that have kind of pushed me going, well, I need to wear more of this or that or something else. And I think that those things also, so that there's that kind of evolution of style as well. And you're now in a slinky phase, and I'm going in, we're just discussing that my style is changing, and it was funny, I felt like I wanted just a little bit more kind of glamour in that. Wafty glamour, I don't know what it is, but you were talking
flowing.
More flowing.
That's how I see
And
it.
so I've kind of really been drawn to some more kind of flowy sorts of things.
Yes, and the pants one is a good one. My pants section in my wardrobe has gotten smaller and smaller, and even the ones that I have there, I could probably easily chop half of them out and not miss them because I don't wear them and they haven't been worn for some time. And it's one of those things that I often go where the mood strikes me, and sometimes it'll be 10 o'clock at night and I'm preparing for bed and I think, you know what I need to do? I need to review my pants. And that's when I do it, and then the next thing, 3 big garbage bags with charity store written on them appear at the front door because I've been inspired to review them, and that's when the moment has felt right and I feel confident in letting go of things. So my pants section now is very, very small, and I'm not drawn to them when I'm out shopping. So for somebody else that might represent a wardrobe gap, but for me that is part of the evolution and revolution of my style, and I feel great about having categories in my wardrobe where there's a small amount of things. That feels like progress to me, given my history and where I've come from in my style journey and the woman I want to be and where I'm going. So it's quite different to you and your style journey and pathway.
And it's one of those things that people often say, well, you know, what do you, and like I've got a pretty full wardrobe too.
Yeah.
I don't actually need much.
Yes.
So I only buy if it's something different.
Yeah.
If it's something that I really love. If it's a replacement that I really need, that I know I will wear because it's still part of my current, you know, wish and desire and style. I'm not just replacing for the sake of replacing.
Yeah.
And if, you know, so, and again, if it's what I'm feeling like right now.
Yes.
And so, yeah, so, and sometimes too, it's like, you know, even for myself, I'll go, like, you know, somebody asked me about how do you, you know, kind of, not have a third piece in summer. And then I realised, well, my most successful ones were things with built-in detail. So now I've gone, I'm not buying a summer top if it doesn't have built-in detail.
Right, yeah.
Like that's now one of my new pieces of criteria. When I realised that, it was like a little moment, ta-da, the little light bulb went on. And I went, oh, because if it doesn't have that, then it's kind of missing something.
Yeah. And while we've been doing this video, I've had a thought about this slinky thing and a review of some of the jackets that I've been wearing and fighting with myself, you know, trying to convince myself that they, you know, they fit so many other criteria. And that analysis piece that you talked about too, that is really gold, because those of us who are a little bit more inspirational, love-led when it comes to our clothing and our wardrobe, it's not as though we need to turn that off and go completely analytical, but we borrow from the other style types approaches where there's something of great value, and that's of great value. See, I don't do that. And that is so helpful to apply a bit of analysis, because otherwise you can end up on a hamster wheel where you're just going around and around and around trying to convince yourself of why something should work, and it's just not. And sometimes, you know, it will never be.
Yes. So I think it's, that being aware, because I've seen a lot of people going, well, I had these camel pants and they kind of, you know, got a big stain on them and I had to replace them because I wore them all the time, and then I just bought another pair of camel pants. These ones have got these great big pockets on the front and they make me look hippie. But I just went out and rushed out to fill a gap. So I think it's, even if it's a momentary awareness about, I think going, well, what do I love about something? Because especially if you're love-led, knowing what you love, like what it is you love, is actually going to be really useful.
Well, I think it's just some hard data. It's just you adding to it. You're not taking anything away, and you can still say final criteria is, do I love it, but I've got to bring some of this stuff in. And I know that even with everything that I know, so much of it's been informed by you, I can still get it wrong, and still, you know, then that's where I'll go into the justification phase.
So can I. I still get things wrong, and this is why there's no such thing as perfection. We all make mistakes. I know a lot. I still get stuff wrong, and I am still learning. Like you know, it's from my own experiences and watching other people's experiences that I learn and then can share my information.
Right.
But I'm always learning, and I think so. Don't ever treat yourself like it's a failure if you've gone and done the wrong thing.
Right.
It's a learning experience, and you can go, oh, okay, well, what was it that didn't work this time? And I think it's always good to ask yourself some of those questions. A little bit of self-reflection doesn't hurt. Doesn't have to be total navel gazing. But it is that sort. So hopefully those little techniques that we've talked about will just help you think about. What is it that for you? And we'd love to know, because if you've got something that works for you that's really different, we'd love to know what that is, because maybe your way is going to be really helpful for other people out there.
Absolutely.